Get this set up good. Thank God NBA was back. Needed something to watch during the week. Play around with these buttons on here. I don't know what they mean. Filters. At least one minute. Oh, don't care about that. Yeah, we don't need a filter. Open up my laptop, pull up some of the games for tonight. All right, we can just go over last night. Game 1, Celtics Knicks. I mean, pretty much after the first quarter, every time the Knicks made a shot, I just sat there and laughed because they're insane. Said it in my team preview that's on this channel. They were the first team that I did. I just wanted to get them out of the way. They're the best team in the NBA. I think they're going to go back-to-back if that team stays healthy. They didn't even have Kristaps Porzingis last night, and they still washed out the New York Knicks. Now, granted, they shot like 50-something% from three. Whatever the record was for most three-pointers in a game, they tied it, and they went the last 9 minutes in the game without a three-pointer. Peyton Pritchard took a couple of those last threes to try to break that record. I would have loved if Fast PP would have nailed one for the record. Yes. Well, the three-point percentage went down. Celtics shot 47.5% from three, 50.5% from the field. And the crazy thing, the Knicks shot 55% from three. I mean, 55% from the field, which, I mean, that's really good to do in a game. It just, unfortunately, that the Celtics took 61 three-pointers and made 29 of them. Knicks taking some not-so-great shots, turning the ball over. 12 total turnovers for New York. Only 4 for the Celtics. I mean, turning the ball over 4 times, shooting almost 50% from three. Not a lot of teams are going to be able to beat you when you're shooting like that. Let's see what other interesting. I mean, largest lead, Celtics were up by 35 at one point. Rebounding, I figured, would be somewhat of an issue for the Knicks, especially early on in the season, with Mitchell Robinson being out, no Isaiah Hartenstein. And I think a key guy for this Knicks team, he's my player to watch in my Knicks team preview, which will be posted hopefully today. It was recorded before last night's game, so anything said unrelated to their first game this season. Precious Achiuwa got injured. He'll be out for a couple games. I think he'll help on the rebounding side of things. I think he would have been a good guy to throw in that rotation last night. A backup big guy, though, Jericho Sims. I mentioned him for like 3 seconds in my team preview because I didn't think he'd get a lot of minutes, but now he's literally that backup big guy. He didn't play too bad, though. 4 points, 2 blocks, 9 rebounds, 24 minutes off the bench. Bench players don't get a lot of time on this Tom Thibodeau coach team, but obviously a blowout, some of them getting more minutes. Deuce McBride, definitely player of the game last night for the Knicks. 26 minutes off the bench. He scored 22 points, shot 8 for 10, 4 for 5 from beyond the arc, threw in 4 assists and a steal as well. And I think he's going to be that 6-man off the bench for the Knicks because he is a really good shooter. Spots where I think he's going to make up for the lack of Dante DiVincenzo on this team. Obviously, him going to the Knicks, his terrible shooting performance cost me $113. The chance of winning $113 last night, but bad beats in the NBA, especially when I need people to score points or make threes. That's nothing new to me, so I'm used to that. Luckily, it was a no sweat token, so I was able to get that back because DiVincenzo, not a great debut for the Timberwolves. I'll get into that game in a little bit. Maybe more people join because LeBron, Bronny, I'm sure people are going to have some questions or want me to talk about that, but I was pretty on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter. Was pretty had my opinion out there for that whole situation. But Knicks-wise, Mikal Bridges, everyone saw the videos or saw it live if you were watching the game. That new shooting form didn't look good. It seemed like he kind of switched it up in the second half, but he ended up finishing with 16 points. Shot 7 for 13 from the field, 2 for 7 from 3. I don't think the Knicks are going to want him to be a big three-point shooter. I think taking 7 threes is a bit bold for him. But three-pointers weren't really working at all last night for the Knicks. OG Anunoby 0 for 4. He's also not a huge three-point shooter, but definitely capable of making multiple threes per game. I thought he might have a little bit of a better game himself. 4 points, shot 1 for 7 from the field. Brought in 5 rebounds, 3 assists. He's more of a defensive-minded guy. Only a steal, no blocks. But, I mean, nobody, no singular player, no team in the NBA could have stopped the Boston Celtics last night. Jalen Brunson only playing 25 minutes, mostly due to the blowouts. But he still was able to put up 22 points on 9 of 14 shooting. He only attempted 2 threes, made one of them. 2 assists, 4 turnovers. I mean, that just shows how good the Celtics are. They do that on offense, and they're still a really good team on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, they're just unstoppable. One game into the season, not writing off the Knicks or anything, but I don't think they're going to be as good as they were last year. It's going to take Karl Anthony Towns time to get familiar and be more confident playing on this new team, all new teammates for him. But not a good-looking game for the Knicks last night. If I had to say something positive, is they still shot 53 or 54% from the field or whatever it was. So they were still making shots. Josh Hart, who we saw the last couple years, has been super aggressive, really confident as a player, and he didn't really do too much last night. 12 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. I mean, when Brunson's not out there, he's a triple-double capable type of player, and every night he's a double-double capable of a player, especially because he's basically the power forward on this team. Only 4 rebounds. I mean, you'd definitely like to see that number lower. He passed up a couple layup or easy shot opportunities during this game. I don't think the Knicks are going to want to rely on him to be too big of a scorer, but, I mean, 12 points, not bad for him, but we'd like to see him get more involved, more aggressive on the offensive side. But as a team, Knicks didn't shoot the ball too well. Celtics had some open threes, but still making the contested ones, so you can't really blame the Knicks' defense. I think their defense going forward is going to be just fine when they play teams that are not the Boston Celtics, really. And on the Celtics side, obviously, Jason Tatum had himself one hell of a night, 37 points, 8 for 11 from downtown, from beyond the arc. He made 8 of his 11 attempts, added 10 assists to that, 4 rebounds, a steal, a block, and only 1 turnover for JT. Saw a tweet that said Steve Kerr created a monster, and there's a picture of Tatum sitting on the bench with Team USA in the Olympics this summer. I don't know if, I mean, obviously he had to be a little bit upset about that, but his heart's all with the Boston Celtics. You can tell, even if you think he's corny or cheesy or whatever, he loves playing for the Boston Celtics, and he's going to do whatever he can for that team to win. He started the game last night absolutely on fire. I mean, everyone getting involved. 6 players scoring in double digits, the whole starting 5. Al Horford going into year number whatever for him, finally got his ring last year. starting center with Kristaps Porzingis still out with that foot surgery he had. Horford, 11 points, 5 assists. He shot 3 for 5 from 3. A block, a steal, no turnovers. Drew Holiday, there was talks that they were going to try to limit his minutes. He ended up playing 31. That was the most of any player on the Celtics last night. 18 points, 4 assists, 4 rebounds. He shot 4 for 6 from 3. And that's like, Drew Holiday's that guy that can do absolutely everything for you on your team. 3-point shooting is kind of at the bottom of the list for Drew Holiday. So if he's shooting 4 for 6, the other team's going to be in trouble. Obviously, the Knicks were last night. Derek White, who I think might be the most important player for this Celtics team, another guy that can absolutely do everything. He put up 24 points, 4 assists. He shot 6 for 10 from 3. Taking 10 threes is a little much, but obviously everybody on that team last night just firing off threes. But White, 60% from out there last night. That's incredible. Jaylen Brown, who also can do everything, just like everybody in this starting 5 for the Celtics. He shot 5 for 9 from 3. Didn't have a great year from 3 last season. His field goal percentage went up just because he was taking more shots inside the paint and driving to the hoop instead of just chucking up threes. He made 5 of them last night, 7 rebounds, 23 total points. I mean, this starting 5 is, there's people naming other starting 5s that were better than the Celtics. I think the Thunder might be up there, but no one is really close to this Boston Celtics starting 5. Knicks have a good one. Cavs have a good one. Mavericks have a good one. But this Celtics team is just ridiculous. And I think I said it yesterday on live. I don't know if they can get to the level or the record of the Warriors in 2017, 2018, whatever it was, when they went 76-6 or 75-7, whatever their record was. But I think this year they could come damn near close to that mark. I mean, off the bench, Sam Hauser played 24 minutes, 10 points, 5 rebounds. He shot 2 for 7 from 3. I needed Luke Cornett rebounds. Yes, I bet on Luke Cornett. He was in the paint multiple times with Sam Hauser, and Hauser just jumped up and grabbed those instead of Cornett. Cornett, not playing bad, 4 points, 3 rebounds, only took 3 shots, but he set a lot of good screens that gave open shots to his teammates. And as of right now, he's that backup center with Porzingis out and Horford starting. That's all he needs to do, just be strong in the paint defensively. He's not a crazy good shot blocker. He had 1 block and a steal yesterday, but if he sets good hard screens on offense, rolls to the hoop, he might get a couple open looks per game, and as long as he finishes those, which he did miss an easy layup last night, but he's a solid big guy off the bench for Boston. He seems really comfortable out there, even though he's not the most skillful player in the league, but he definitely knows his role in this team. He plays it well, and he's just a good piece overall for Boston. Peyton Pritchard, not a great night for him. 3 points, 4 assists, brought in 4 rebounds, but he shot 1 for 10 from the field, 1 for 9 from 3. In that bet that DiVincenzo lost me, I had Pritchard 1+3. Thank God he made that one in the second quarter or whenever it was early on in the game, because he missed 8 straight after that, including a couple to break the record for most threes in a game. Would have loved for him to hit that to have his name connected to that record in their history books. We saw pretty much everybody in this game except for Baylor Shireman and Jaden Springer. Jaden Springer out of Tennessee. I mean, this team can play 12 guys deep every night if it wants to, and I wouldn't blame Coach Joe Mazzulla. Saw a quote, I don't know when it was from, but a quote that someone said, like, was there pressure to step up from last season? And he was like, oh, we all die anyways, so there's no pressure over here. And that's just an insane thing to say for a coach, but I mean, that's just the type of guy he is. Obviously, he's a good coach. Celtics winning the championship last year. He knows what he's doing, and he has a really good team, more than capable of going back-to-back. Jump over to the Lakers Timberwolves. Interesting game here. I really thought that the Timberwolves would win, even though I'm not completely sold on them this year. I don't think Anthony Edwards is going to have that good of a season this year. People saying he's going to win the MVP. I definitely don't think he's going to do that. Jump into the box score here. Lakers winning 110-103. Good lead at halftime for the Lakers. The second half, they struggled a little bit defensively, gave up some of those runs that they were susceptible to last season. What a word, susceptible. But they got back on the right track, and mostly because of their guy, Anthony Davis. And this is the Anthony Davis people should expect to see every single night on the court. I mean, he has those weird stretches where he plays really well, like he did last night, 36 points, 6 rebounds, and 4 assists, 3 blocks, a steal. In the next game, he'll either go out and have a stinker with like 10 points and 6 rebounds, or he'll have another huge monster game, and then the next game completely drop off. But last season, he did set a career high in games played. I believe it was 76 games played last season for Anthony Davis, a career high for him. And if he plays at the level he did last night, I mean, he's kind of owned Rudy Gobert his whole career. If you look up those numbers, it's like 27 points and like 15 rebounds per game versus Rudy Gobert in his career. So maybe, I mean, it's definitely not a fluke because Anthony Davis is a really good player. But if he can keep up that pace for most of the season this year, that's going to give the Lakers a great chance of having a successful year. First win last night for new head coach J.J. Redick. I mean, coming into it, he's a very offensive-minded guy, super smart, knows the game of basketball, loves the game of basketball. And I saw a couple videos of, because I didn't get to watch the whole game, but watching the game and saw a couple videos on Twitter after the game of some offensive sets that he ran in the half-court offense. They're really good, really intricate, and you know he's going to love to use a lot of those all season long. And as long as, I mean, the team 3-point-wise did not do well, 5 for 30, that's 16.7%. So I'm sure Coach Redick would love to see those 3-point numbers go up, especially if he's running those type of sets that create open shots. I mean, if you're open, you got to make them. I wanted to bet on D'Angelo Russell last night, but I figured it's either going to be the game where he has 8 threes or no threes. Last night, good thing I stayed away. He shot 1 for 7. I mean, no one really shot well from 3 percentage-wise. Dalton Knecht or Anthony Davis, because they were 1 for 3, but Knecht only 16 points off the bench, 16 minutes off the bench, 5 points. Had a +7, so team wasn't doing too bad when he was out there. Coming into this year, out of college, not saying he's going to be a defensive liability, but defense is definitely not his strong suit. It's shot making, shot creating for himself. So if he can survive out there on the defensive end, I think he can get more minutes, and obviously he's a really good offensive player. Only took 4 shots, 3 of them were threes, and I think that's most of his shots are going to come from 3 because he's a great spot-up 3-point shooter or getting a screen, shooting off the dribble. He's more than capable of doing that as well. On the TikTok page, TC Talk Sports on TikTok, go give that page a follow. But I made a TikTok kind of ranking, grading, rating, whatever you want to call it, of rookies' chances of winning Rookie of the Year. I didn't put him in the video, but somebody commented about it, so I had to respond. I would put him in the kind of sort of maybe has a chance of winning Rookie of the Year. I don't think he has a chance, but if he gets the minutes, I think he can put up the offensive stats to make a case for himself, but I just don't think he's going to win Rookie of the Year. But not a bad first game for him. Rui Hachimura, right out of the jump ball, this dude was everywhere for the Lakers. 18 points, 5 rebounds, only shot 1 for 4 from 3, which I don't think is his strong suit either, but he's definitely capable of making multiple threes per game. But he was everywhere on the glass early on in the game and scoring down low for the Lakers. And he's I think he's going to have to play a big role this year. He's in that power forward position, not too big of a body down there, but when I watch him, he kind of has that body type of Giannis, just not as tall or as long, but he's still tall, lanky, not too much muscle that can blow opponents away. Giannis just uses his body so well down low and driving to the paint, but kind of a strange comparison, but that's just who he kind of reminds me of when you watch him play. LeBron James, not a great game for him. He's usually really good in season openers, only 16 points, 4 assists, 5 rebounds. Did shoot 7 for 16 from the field, only took 4 threes, made one of them, but he was able to score in the paint, score at the rim. I mean, team still got to win. Kind of relied on Anthony Davis a lot in this game, but win's a win. First one under the belt for new head coach J.J. Redick. I think that's really important for him to start the season prepared and beat one of the better teams in the NBA with your best player, LeBron James, not playing that well. D'Angelo Russell finished 9 points. Again, like I said, he shot 4 for 12 from the field, 1 for 7 from 3. Only 5 assists. You'd like to see that number a little bit higher for your starting point guard, who I think is a really good point guard. He's one of my favorite players in the league. Austin Reeves, I don't think he's that good of a player. And he still he still found his role in this lineup as starting, I guess, shooting guard / small forward, depending on what kind of lineup they throw out. He didn't play too bad. 12 points, 4 assists, grabbed 9 rebounds. I mean, he's a double-double threat kind of guy on certain random nights. 9 rebounds, almost hit that mark. He shot 0 for 5 from 3. He's another guy that's capable of getting really hot from beyond the arc or not doing anything. Last night, not making a 3, but other than that, he shot 6 for 9 from the field, made 6 field goals for those 12 points. And a guy that stood out to me last night, only playing 15 minutes, but Jackson Hayes, kind of that backup center, power forward for the Lakers. 10 points, 4 rebounds, and a block. He had a highlight reel-worthy play. I think it was a putback dunk, or it might have been an alley-oop, I don't know, but put somebody on a poster. He's super athletic. He's long. He's tall. Really long wingspan. When the opportunity was there, I bet on him a couple times last season because I know he's capable of double-double type numbers. He just doesn't get a lot of minutes. In my Lakers preview that will be coming out at some point, my player to watch was Colin Castleton. He only played like a couple minutes total last year for the Lakers. I don't know, especially after this first game and seeing their rotation still really only includes 2 true big guys with Anthony Davis and Jackson Hayes. I think they should give Colin Castleton some minutes, give him some work in the NBA. I think he can be a good NBA player. He's a big. He can score down low. Doesn't really shoot threes, but neither does Jackson Hayes. I think Hayes is more athletic than Castleton. Castleton a better shot blocker / rim protector. They just haven't really given him a chance, but if the team does well without him, they're not going to bring him up and ruin their lineups. But if they start to struggle at some point in the season, or Hayes or Davis gets hurt for an extended period of time, or even if Hachimura gets hurt and they need another big body, bring up Colin Castleton. I think he's capable of being an NBA player and will do well. Some people will call me crazy, but I don't care about that. Jump into Timberwolves side. I'll get into the Bronny James situation after. Go through the Timberwolves stats. Julius Randle, his first game with the Minnesota Timberwolves, getting a start, playing 34 minutes. I am not a Julius Randle fan. I don't think he's a good player. The stats, if you just look at stats, I think they're a little deceiving because he does put up a good number in multiple categories. He can score, rebound, pass, dribble. But, if you just watch him, he seems kind of, obviously he's not uncoordinated because he's a professional basketball player and a starter for that matter, but he looks a little clunky, uncoordinated out there on the floor at times. I think he's I don't know. The way I put it was he's the worst player that thinks he's really good. Like when he tries to take over games with his dribbling and just like pulling up for three, he looks terrible. But if he tries not to make the game all about him or whatever, I don't know how to describe it, but he statistically he puts up good numbers. I just don't think he's a good player. If I was a coach or general manager, owner, whatever the terms are now, I wouldn't want him on my team. But last night, not a bad debut for him. 16 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. Shot 5 for 10 from the field, 1 for 3 from 3. I think he's a much better player when he drives into the paint or scores on the blocks down low and doesn't just chuck up low percentage threes, which he didn't do last night. Team lost, obviously, but I think he looked better last night than in some other games he's played in the past. Jaden McDaniels, a lot of people expecting him to have a little bit of a leap year. This year he played well. Last year was a big part of that playoff team. Not a big scorer, kind of more defensive rebounder type of guy. 6 points, 2 rebounds, took 8 shots, only made 3 of them, went 0 for 3. From 3, did get in foul trouble, ended the game with 5 fouls, and that was a problem for him at times last season. But he's kind of just a utility role player. Rudy Gobert, he's played well versus Anthony Davis. As I said earlier, Anthony Davis kind of owns Rudy Gobert. He's a boring player. Davis kind of owns Rudy Gobert, but if you look up Gobert's stats versus Davis, they're not too bad for himself. Last night, 13 points, 14 rebounds, and a block for Gobert. He also had 4 fouls, so a little bit of foul trouble for him. Mike Conley, he did not play well. There's reports or whatever that they don't want to give him like too many minutes this year. They kind of want to wean him off of playing high minutes. Only played 20 last night, so they were right there. He finished with 5 points, 4 rebounds, 2 assists, 3 turnovers, only shot 1 for 7 from the field. In my bet that DiVincenzo screwed me on, I had Conley under 9.5 points. Beautiful pick, beautiful bet. Needed DiVincenzo with 15. He finished with 10. Shot 3 for 11, 2 for 8 from the field, 2 for 4 from the foul line. He missed 2 free throws. I believe they were his first 2 of the game, and that kind of just set the tone. When I saw that happen, I wasn't very optimistic about him getting 15-plus points. Played 32 minutes, second most, fourth most. I don't know what I'm looking at. But still, 32 minutes is a good chunk of time to score 15 points. He's a good scorer. And it just didn't happen. I know I'm going to get another bad beat tonight with this huge slate of games. I'm going to try to limit myself number of bets wise. Just be smart about it. I am starting a ladder challenge. It's going to win. Day 1 for sure is going to win. I'm going 10 for 10. 10 to 10 grand or whatever it is. Just in 10 days, people are going to follow along. I'm going to make them a lot of money. I was going to maybe hint at some of the picks on here, but I've now decided not to. TC Talk Sports on TikTok. That's where it'll be posted today. Don't know exactly what time, but definitely before the games start, obviously. Before the games start tonight, day 1, turn $10 into $10. It's only 4 legs. It's like plus 110 odds, so even better than usual for ladder challenges, but definitely going to hit that, and it's going to be a fun one to watch, keep track of tonight. Anthony Edwards, I said overall Timberwolves aren't going to have that great of a season this year. I don't think Anthony Edwards is going to have that great of a season. Started off kind of rough shooting the ball last night. He ended up playing 41 minutes, scoring 27 points. Shot 10 for 25. He took 25 shots last night versus the Lakers. I mean, when you look at this roster, they have a couple guys that can score in different ways. Like Gobert is strictly down low. Randall can do it inside and outside. Mike Conley, typically a good three-point shooter. He went 0 for 5 last night. And it just seems like he's on the path of having his minutes reduced this season. It might not have a big of year, at least scoring-wise. I think he'll still be there passing and being that primary ball handler. But Anthony Edwards, 10 for 25 from the field, 5 for 13 from beyond the arc. I think he's going to be taking a lot of three-pointers this year. I mean, he has the chance to score a lot and be one of the leaders in three-pointers made, maybe not percentage-wise, just because I think he's going to take so much, and he's going to have games where he shoots like 1 for 10, and people are going to freak out and probably overreact. He's still a really good player. He's going to be a really good player for the rest of his career. Just this year, I'm just thinking that he's going to want to take a lot of three-pointers, and it's just not going to turn out well for him. But if this team can defend like they did last season, one of the best defensive teams in the league, I think they might be all right. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, his line was 5.5 points last night. I took that. I mean, last year he was one of the best bench players in the league and key for the Timberwolves in their playoff runs. There's no way he wasn't going to at least play like 20 minutes. He ended up playing 28, scoring 14 points, 3 for 4 from 3. Seemed like an easy bet for me, so I jumped on that. Hopefully I can find a couple more gems like that tonight, make a little bit more money, and just be proud of myself for actually winning bets instead of having bad beats and parlays. But I will have ladder challenge. I'm scared I'm going to have too many bets tonight. Got to go to work. Luckily, I can watch a lot of games while I'm at work. Did the promo on FanDuel, bet $5, get 3 months of NBA League Pass for free. So, of course, I had to jump on that. And with that $5, I had like a 9-leg parlay, $5 to win like 900. First leg was Derek White, 2+3s. That hit easily. The rest coming from the games tonight. So I got to follow along with that tonight to see if I'm going to be a rich boy by the time I wake up tomorrow. I just don't want to have too many bets, but so many things stick out to me and so many things that I think can happen because I have so much basketball and NBA statistic knowledge. Like, oh, this guy will score 20 points, super capable of it. That guy will end up taking 30 shots and making like 5 of them because that's just my luck, and that's what happens when I bet on guys to score not even a lot of points, just score, make threes. That's just what happens too. Bronny James situation. I'm not a LeBron James fan. I don't deny his greatness and legendary status that he has. I put him number 2 all-time behind the GOAT, Michael Jordan. I'm not a hater towards Bronny James. I just don't think he's an NBA caliber player, doesn't deserve to be in the NBA. He definitely should have stayed in college to work on his game. But last night, I thought it would be more of an event, more of a spectacle, I guess. Thought they would like stop the game and show something on the big screen or something, but kind of just subbed Bronny in the second quarter. Him and LeBron came in at the same time. One of the coolest things to see, honestly, I almost missed it because I had to actually do my job, but I wrote it out. Saw them come in together, watched a couple minutes of Bronny on the floor, played only 3 total minutes, took 2 shots. One was kind of like a tip-in offensive rebound type of thing that got swatted away by somebody. But what happened was really cool and a super good experience, not just for, it's really cool for their family. It's super cool in sports in general. I mean, it's the first time ever in NBA history, father and son playing, and it's like the 5th time ever in professional sports of a father and son playing at the same time. Can't think of the other names off the top of my head, but I know there's someone in the NHL. Ken Griffey Jr. and Sr. played together. I mean, that was just really cool moment for the family. The entire family was there. It was also his daughter. I think her name's like Zuri, but not 100% confident in that. But it was her birthday last night. They were all in the arena to witness that. I mean, just a super cool experience overall, and just in the history of sports, I think this can be looked back on as something really amazing. And, I mean, Bronny didn't do too well. Seems like there's something outside that window over there. But Bronny didn't play too well. I mean, if you watched him, Joe Ingles was guarding him at times. He couldn't really even get open. First possession, Julius Randle backed him down from the three-point line into the paint, and Randle scored. Bronny went for a tip-in on the offensive side, and he got a touch on the ball, so it counted as a shot attempt, but it got swatted off the backboard by, I think, Gobert. Don't really know who. Wow. I've been voice cracking a lot lately. Don't really know who swatted him away, but, I mean, he just looked small. I mean, he is short. Like, it's not like he's 6'5", and all these other guys are 7 foot. I mean, he's like 6'1" or whatever. They probably list him at 6'2", but he's probably more of a 6 foot, 6'1". He just looked small and honestly just didn't look like he belonged out there. Give him a couple years, see what happens. Who knows? But super cool moment last night for them. And maybe that's why LeBron didn't play too well. The nerves maybe got to him, or just the spectacle of the moment got to him, worrying about his son. I don't know. Or, I mean, he didn't even have a bad game, but just not a LeBron James usual type of game. But good way to start off the season, I think. The Celtics game wasn't too exciting, but just to watch them beat the piss out of the Knicks and make pretty much every shot they took, that was pretty cool. It was fun to watch. Lakers-Timberwolves game was more competitive, better for just casual basketball fans watching. But good way to start the season. Big slate tonight. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games tonight on this Wednesday night. Before I wrap this up, I'll just go through, give my prediction for each game, and then I'll say bye-bye. Pacers-Pistons. If you know me, Pistons fan, second favorite team behind the Dallas Mavericks, but since Cade Cunningham got drafted, they've been my number 2. I think they're going to have a better year this year. J.B. Bickerstaff, their new head coach, he's defensive-minded. They got some new three-point shooters on that team. I think they're going to have a better year this year, but I just think Pacers going to be too much to handle for them in this one. I like that it is in Detroit, gives them a better chance, I think. Pistons are going to win, maybe. Pacers are going to win. I think Pistons are getting 5 points, maybe 5.5 points. Not a bad bet to take them on the spread, or if you can give them an alternate spread, take a couple more points and pair that with something else. I think that's a good bet, but Pacers straight up winning. Nets-Hawks. I think the Nets might be one of, if not the worst team in the NBA this season. Hawks, Trae Young is back. No DeJounte Murray. I think he's going to go wild in this game, maybe like 25 points, 12 assists. They got a pretty solid starting 5 as well. I think Hawks win this one easily. 6.5 point favorites. Betting spreads is always tricky for me because the NBA can screw you really easily at the end of the games with that. But I think Hawks straight up win this one. Magic Heat. This one in Miami, so the Heat are favorites, but the Magic are fully healthy right now. They got some guys on new contracts. They're deep, one of the best defensive teams in the league. Go back and watch my Magic team preview on this channel. You know I have high hopes for them. They're the underdogs in this game. I think the Magic are going to win. I think Jimmy Butler is going to have a good game for Miami, but I think the defense is just going to be too much, force too many bad shots, late shot clock shots for the Heat. Give me the Magic in this one. Bucks 76ers, no Joel Embiid. He is out for the week. He said he's not playing in back-to-back games, not only this season, but for the rest of his career. Embiid out in this game. Chris Middleton's going to be out for the Bucks. Paul George, as we know, is already out. I think Bucks are going to win this game as well on the road. Philly, tough place to play. You know those fans, super nice and respectful. But I think the Bucks come away with a win. I'm expecting a big year for Giannis this year because he basically said if he doesn't win a championship, he might be gone. So I think Giannis has a big game tonight. Bucks win. Cavs, Raptors. Raptors keep thinking they might be the worst team in the league, or one of the worst teams in the league, or especially in the East. But I think they got Scotty Barnes. Grady Dick had a good year, solid year last year. For him, rookie out of Kansas now in his second year. I think Emmanuel Quickley's really good. He got opportunities last year with guys with injuries. He was kind of all over the floor for the Raptors, but at least in this first game, got to say the Cavs are going to win. That starting five is just too good. They can work on their depth, but they have a couple solid guys off the bench. But for an opening night game, the Cavs are just too much for the Raptors. Hornets, Rockets, I think this one's going to be a high-scoring game. Rockets pretty much fully healthy. Last year, they ended up making a run towards the playoffs, didn't have Alperen Şengün, and they were still really young playing together. I think they could be a sneaky good team this year, definitely going to be a fun team to watch, capable of scoring a lot of points. Hornets back healthy, minus Mark Williams, but they have LaMelo Ball back. I think Brandon Miller's going to have a big year, but I think this game, got to take the Rockets. Bulls, Pelicans, this one's interesting. Pelicans, as of last night, I think DeJounte Murray and Zion were questionable for this game. Definitely going to have to check back on that before the game starts. But if those two guys are playing, I think the Pelicans beat the Bulls. A lot of people are saying the Bulls got worse than last year, which might be true, but Zach LaVine is back and healthy. Kobe White's literally getting better and better every single year. Should have won Most Improved last season, but he didn't. I think this game might be closer than a lot of people are expecting. Definitely will without Murray and Zion, but I have a feeling that they'll play. CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, it'll still be too much for this young Chicago Bulls team. Lonzo Ball's coming back, so who knows how he's going to play, but I'll take the Pelicans in this one. Grizzlies, Jazz. Grizzlies kind of sort of healthy. No G.G. Jackson, no Jaren Jackson, but Ja Morant's finally back. Marcus Smart's back. Desmond Bane will be in there. They got Zach Edey. I think in my Utah Jazz preview, I said they're going to miss the playoffs, but they're interesting and a lot of questions surrounding this team. They're still young, definitely in a rebuilding phase, but they have the offensive capabilities. But I think the Grizzlies just overall are going to be better even without Jaren Jackson. So I'll take the Grizzlies in this game. Suns, Clippers. No Kawhi. Paul George obviously not there anymore. James Harden's going to have to run that offense through a bunch of role players. Norman Powell is a dog, though. I expect him to have a good game. But Suns, now with Tyus Jones, they got Beal, Booker, KD. I don't want to say an easy win for the Suns, but I don't see how they lose this game. So Suns are going to win. Close out the night, Warriors, Trailblazers. I don't think the Trailblazers will be that good, definitely near the bottom, if not last. In the Western Conference, don't really know how good the Warriors are going to be, but at least opening night, I know Kerr is going to have these guys prepared. Steph Curry will probably have a big game, so give me the Warriors to close out this Wednesday slate of games. I mean, I picked most of the favorites, but they are the better team, so they should win, especially in an opening night matchup. Live today, went live yesterday, but something happened with the video, so I couldn't post it. I'm going to try to get this one posted. It was fun going live. I can just sit and yap. People can come in, ask questions, start an argument, start a conversation, whatever you want. But I'm going to close this one down. NBA is back, baby. That's all I got to say. NBA is back.